Hello, everybody.
Hey, guys. Howdy, everybody. Yes.
So, it is his birthday? Also, hey.
Yeah.
Oh, so happy birthday to you, Mike. But also, just so you know, Clyde, they're trying to yell at you in the stream and say that they can't hear you.
Well, they didn't want to hear me. They're not here to hear me anyway. So.
What? Of course they want to hear you. Wouldn't it be a really interesting show if you couldn't hear the host?
Yeah.
And Mike, congratulations on another trip around the sun.
Yay! Right. Congratulations. Happy birthday. Do you want us to move on? We can.
Sure.
Okay. Hey.
What else is going on?
Nothing is going on in the world right now. Nothing important is going on in the world right now.
It's been super boring. So
it's a boring time.
Nothing.
People are just not doing anything of any sort right now. So we're not going to talk about any of that.
I think that we're gonna do an election show, right?
Are we gonna elect?
Are we electing King of the Stream or something?
Yeah,
because King is appointed, not elected.
I'd like to nominate Jimmy as the King Stream.
Well, I call Pope.
Oh, Pope.
I call Pope.
You want Pope? You want Pope?
Jimmy can be king. I'll be Pope.
Be evil pirate.
I'll have to find a crown somewhere so I can.
What are you gonna be, Matt? I got
you kidding me? Jester, obviously. The Jester's the only person who can make fun of the king without getting himself into a lot of trouble.
Well, but there's still a line. Because you go
there's a line.
And you end up in the trap door with the alligators.
That's true. You get your head cut off for whatever reason. But no, the Jester's job is to look at things at a humorous point of view and also point out fallacies and make fun of them.
Okay.
Of all kinds, not just the kings. Just so you know, everybody gets it fairly.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Other than that, I don't know. Rich and happy. I don't know. In this fiefdom, just happy somewhere, enjoying somewhere, not having to work in some place where you have to just dig all day or do. I don't know. I just manual labor. I don't want to do the medieval manual labor. It just does not sound like fun. I don't know. I don't know what I'd want to do. Maybe. No, probably not a blacksmith because that would be killer too.
So if your job is to write manuals, is that considered manual labor?
Oh yes, absolutely. It's like the manual labor.
But it's like the only time where you can have manual labor without actually having to do anything outside of a keyboard. Because if you type on a keyboard all day, that's not considered manual labor.
Well, except for you're working on manuals, so
exactly.
Thus it is manual labor.
All right.
I'm just saying you can't mess with what it's called.
And I've seen a bunch of manuals lately that have made me think the guy that wrote this needs to work harder. Because like entire words are missing from sentences.
So if your name is Emmanuel, does that mean you're always doing Emmanuel labor?
I think he just converts them from paper to PDF.
Oh no, Emmanuel. You know, he's
Yeah.
it's if he's is he
Yeah,
always doing labor?
he
That's
makes
it?
he makes the electronic manuals.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Gotcha. That makes a lot of sense.
So
Okay,
he
gotcha.
lives next to a scanner, just sits there at the copier all
Man,
day, feeding
I've done that
papers
job.
into it.
I really have. I've had that job before, where like this entire cabinet of documentation, we need to digitize it. Oh crap! Really? Yes. Oh, okay. Fine.
Bad Weave says the way that some people type, it looks like they'd exert less energy digging ditches.
Maybe.
I know there's a guy that every once in a while I'm on a conference call with him, and I go deaf. My ears start ringing from him banging on his keys. Now they're super clacky, and he's like banging on them. Like,
IBM
dude.
Model M. Those
Mute.
things are loud.
All right. Well,
I love them.
we are here. We are all here, and we are ready to talk about some stuff.
Okay, let's start with a story here about Nokia. Nokia is offering a new set of low-cost 4K Android televisions. These devices are going to be available in all different sizes and ranges, for anywhere from a 43-inch up to a 75-inch model. And they're also offering what looks like to be a set-top box as well, just a regular Android TV set-top box. Oh, that's one of the things about this, is that they are almost all Android TV based devices. So that sounds excellent, but
Europe.
am I going to be able to see? No, they're not going to be here.
The TVs, maybe. I'm crossing my fingers.
Okay.
But yeah, the set top box almost definitely won't be, because I think they still use different like frame rate.
Oh,
stuff.
yeah, 50 hertz versus 60 hertz on their TVs and all that.
Well,
You think you don't think they standardized that to when HDMI and digital TV became a thing? Really?
You'd think so. But,
oh, it's because that's right.
I'm thinking of PAL versus NTSC.
Oh, that too. But also they're all their lights, like their
power is different.
So their lights literally flicker. It's 50 hertz versus 60 hertz.
When you go too far east, the speed of light changes, and so
it slows down, doesn't it?
It gets a little slower as you
I do know that pinball machines are very susceptible to, or it's noticeable, the power difference, because things that with timers run either slower or faster,
right?
Depending on where it was manufactured, if you move it. But
no, that's still caused by the speed of light being slower.
Yeah. And but yeah, I'm always interested in affordable TVs. I like to see a lot of competition in that space, and I got my fingers crossed that these TVs make it here. It's nice to see Nokia doing something other than phones again.
Oh, okay.
Is this their first time doing a television?
I think so.
So I have a question, because it's confusing. Just like it's confusing to know which AT&T we're talking about, which Nokia are we talking about, because the company's been bought and sold and broken up a couple times. So is it the guys who used to make the phones, or is it the guys who make the tires?
I'm pretty sure my assumption would be you had the guys that were making the phones, but they were making the Android phones because the other phone division went to Microsoft.
So that company Nokia got sold to Microsoft, at which point then they quit selling them. All those people left Nokia to go to other companies.
Yep.
And then some other Chinese company, I think, bought the Nokia name, and I think that's who this is. Actually,
that might be, and it might be. Yeah. But like I said,
I don't know.
I'm interested, and I like to see more players in the Android TV space. So yeah, I mean, on its own is enough for me to say yay. And true. I mean, Nokia is a bigger player in Europe than here in the US anyway. So it makes perfect sense that at least initially because they've still got some significant brand recognition It would be like RCA here, you know, even though RCA doesn't really exist as anything other than a white label now. But
Yeah, RCA, the company that used to be the American giant in everything as far
Yep.
as electronics. And now they are a name that Chinese companies slap onto their devices.
Polaroid.
They look recognizable to you in the United States.
RCA and Polaroid are like
That too.
essentially the same thing. But yeah, so if you're in Europe, new affordable Android TVs coming your way with a name that you might still trust.
Maybe if you're lucky. Hey, if you're lucky, you might be able to watch your Boston games on some type of streaming service, but it won't be a YouTube TV. That's right. YouTube TV has announced that they are dropping the New England Sports Network, which has been used to watch the Boston Red Sox and the Boston Bruins games. We're trying to get an agreement with them in order to extend their contract with them, but that agreement had expired. So that means, as of the 31st of October, they will no longer carry that network on their system.
This comes on the heels of the Sinclair Fox regional sports networks. Were left or were dropped. That one, they were extended throughout the baseball season, but they went away a couple weeks ago. But yeah, YouTube TV's at a point where they're just like, we don't like your terms. That's fine.
Also, because there's not many games due to the current world pandemic,
what's the point?
It's a really good time for them to leverage that. And
we
don't
also
want to pay those
because Boston, the Boston Sports Network or whatever, New England Sports Network is leaving now. If you're a Boston Red Sox fan, you're probably just going to go, because there's a good chance it'll be back in time for baseball season next year.
Maybe.
Now, if you're a Bruins fan, that might be a problem. But I'm pretty sure you'll probably be able to catch some of those Bruins games someplace else. So it's not like YouTube TV was the only game in town.
Nope.
So what do you think? Is this gonna hurt YouTube TV? I mean, they raised the price.
I can't believe their numbers. They've obviously gone down.
I mean, they rate when we talked about it back in the summer when they raised the price to 60. And they started dropping stuff left and right. People must be fleeing. It's like crazy.
It's clear that this is the decline of streaming technology, and our show is going to end because nobody's going to.
It's spelling out the death of YouTube TV. Nobody's going to want to subscribe.
Yeah, YouTube TV and Google had their annual calls of their numbers, and they said that they and now have over 3 million new subscribers, which is 2 million more than they had in February. That's right.
Yeah. I think it just proves that, their regular business, just a regular YouTube, they're probably making so much money off of that to where YouTube TV is just kind of a afterthought anyway. But I mean, it does seem like they're not managing things all that well, which to me says that, maybe they don't really care about YouTube TV.
No. This story just said that since February, they have gained 2 million subscribers on YouTube TV.
Yep. I bet you anything.
So they drop shows and they gain 2 million.
Yep, that's what we were getting at.
It may have many things to do with pandemic wise, because it is since February, which is timing is good there for that. To see if I don't know why people would subscribe to YouTube TV because of a pandemic if they already had their own television at home, but who knows. But they are doing really well with their numbers. Their numbers are jumping up. They're making a huge increases in their ad revenue. Just even Google's use is going up a little bit. So yeah, their numbers are looking very good in all across the board for Google. Let's break them up.
Maybe it's all the New England rivals, right? People who don't like the New England area are signing
Yeah,
up.
that's right.
You dropped New England? Then I'm signing up. Right?
Exactly.
Well, no, that's going to be the next million that we're going to see going forward. Because, these
Because it just
numbers
happened.
were before that happened. But no, I was surprised when I saw this because when they raised the price to $60, I expected them to see some sort of exodus, kind of like AT&T or Dish Now, whatever they were calling the AT&T TV.
AT&T TV Now Plus
Before
Go
that, when it
Max.
was still Dish, on whatever.
Direct
But,
TV.
yeah, Direct TV Now.
AT&T
When it was
DirecTV
DirecTV now, and they raised the price and then got rid of the sweetheart deals for AT&T customers, you saw a huge decline. Just like overnight, they ran out of subscribers, and I kind of expected to see that, but people apparently think that the $60 price is good enough that they're still signing up for new subscriptions. And they're not even really doing it any promotions. Yeah, you can right now. You can get the free 3 months for if you buy a Google TV, Chromecast, Sky.
Only if you're a new
laser
customer. Oh my jeez.
But I mean,
It would be interesting.
I can't say that sales from that is enough to to offset this. So. I'm surprised, and I guess good for YouTube TV.
Very cool.
I think one thing that we're finding is that prices, and we talked about this a little bit the last time we talked about it, that prices are starting to kind of coalesce at a certain price point. So cable TV, or the ability to watch the shows you want on an online TV service, is something people are not going to give up. They may move around a little bit to find the solution that works the best for them, that's the least expensive, but they're not going to give up a number of different things. They want their local channels, they want the specific channels, the ability to upgrade and get HBO and stuff like that. So they have that stickiness. And then, of course, there's the whole thing about remembering to change or to quit, or even noticing that you're being charged more. My bill changed all the time when I was on Hulu TV, and I knew I was going to stick with it until the football season, and it just didn't even matter. I never even read the emails they sent me. I just delete them before I look at them. My bill goes up. I find out about 3 months after it goes up. I'm like, oh, I wonder when it went up to 65.
As long as there's enough money in the account to cover the uptick, then you may not even notice.
And that's why I think that it's not that big of a deal that they increase the price. It's still a little cheaper than if you go with like regular cable TV solution. So what else are you going to do? Nobody's going to go without their TV.
Yeah. Well, what if you're Sinclair and you're thinking to yourself, I don't think this YouTube TV stuff, or maybe even, Hulu, those guys, we're not going to deal with them because nobody's watching this stuff anymore, right? Sinclair has announced that in their revenue reports that they have a huge loss due to them not being used on those services. In fact, I believe it's $4.2 billion they're reporting for this quarter.
This is what I was referring to earlier, because they were negotiating. Their deal ran out back in February with YouTube TV, but then YouTube TV extended it to get the so that they could have the viewers could have baseball through
baseball
the season, and they just dropped it. And because Sinclair, they couldn't find a price. Now I'm pretty sure after a $4.2 billion loss, I'm pretty sure Sinclair is wishing they had met YouTube TV's and Hulu's terms.
Sinclair needs to come back here and say, okay, we'll sell it to you, but we want our price, and sell it as an add-on, and you know what? I would be super happy about that. If I had the option to buy, my regional sports network from them when I wanted to and disconnect when I was done with them, mostly I would probably buy it and forget about it. There you go, Sinclair. You get your money, and YouTube would be happy, or Hulu or whomever would be happy because they'd get their percentage out of that, and they'd probably make a better deal. But then if I didn't want it, I wouldn't have to buy it. So yes, I want that. Please come back and say make us an add-on package. Make everything an add-on package, please. That's what I think.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that'd be a great approach.
But we'll see. As of right now, I don't watch it on your cable subscription. I don't know. I'm sure they're making money somewhere, right, guys? Maybe, I don't know. All right. What if you are Spotify and you are basically everywhere? I mean, you have Spotify. I mean, I think it's on toaster ovens now.
But you can't wear Spotify.
Where can you wear Spotify? You can't wear it?
Sure, you can, but you have to have a phone to stream it to.
Oh, you mean on the watch device?
Mine's
right?
too small, so I don't know.
Yeah. I think they could get Spotify in those too, at least where you control it. I think they have those. So, but yeah, if you have an Apple Watch, Spotify's been an option for you to control your Spotify on your watch for a while. But Spotify has just updated their code for the Apple Watch, and now you are able to run Spotify off your watch with no phone required. Yet another thing that's going to make these weird glass squares that we carry around less and less relevant as time goes on.
Dick Tracy's wrist phone is becoming more and more of a reality.
I know. I'm happy about this, quite frankly. I want this future, quite frankly. I would love to be able to have this as an option instead of a requirement. That sounds great.
I'm still waiting for Max Smart's shoe phone, though. Hey, Nike, you put like running things in the heel. Why can't you just put a freaking phone in the heel of my shoe?
I like that idea too. That's a fun one.
The new Air Jordans.
There's more and more reasons to me to start to think about getting a smartwatch. I still don't like the idea of wearing something on my wrist though.
I'll tell you about mine after the show, but because it doesn't really pertain to this. But I think that's cool. My question is, how well does it run? Because Spotify can be a bit of a resource hog on devices that don't, like on my computer, it's fine. On my phone, it's fine. But like on my old tablet that isn't very fast anymore, it's kind of sketchy. And I would say that wrist phone probably would be on par with my old tablet that's in the garage, but I don't know. So I'm interested to see.
It all depends on what they're doing and what it's the hardware is designed to decode, right on the chip versus on the CPU. So we'll see. Yeah.
To stream the music to it, I'm sure it's got to be a bit of a battery hit to do that.
Oh yeah.
You're not streaming to it. It's running on the watch. So if you've got
but Spotify is a streaming service.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Probably.
Yeah, true. I mean, I've got an Apple Watch, right? I mean, you can put this thing will hold 16 gig of music, on there. Yes, so you could push a playlist over to it and just have it, when you go for a walk or whatever, right? But this here would be streaming it over the cellular service or Wi-Fi service.
Yep.
Right. So I'm sure there's got to be, a hit on it. Yeah, that's got to be a hit on battery. Now, the question is how big of a hit. Maybe it's just a small hit. It doesn't do all that much, but it's got to be at least a little bit of a hit on the battery.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the next antenna gate watch edition. You're not holding your arm right. But no, yeah, makes perfect sense. And then we can say, why isn't this already a thing?
Eventually,
Eventually.
today it's not one of those, but in a couple of years, we want it to be. That'll be great.
So
Unfortunately, something that is a thing is buying a full price game on your Nintendo Switch, and you don't get anything. I mean, normally you buy a game on a, like, let's say you go ahead and go onto the eShop and you go ahead and say, I'm going to buy this game. Let's just say it's Mario Kart. You get the bits sent to your device so you can play the game, right? Saved to it. You can play it whenever you want. Well, the newest version, the Switch has now released two eShop games, Control and Hitman 3, which are pretty high-end titles. Probably, unless it was well designed and well set up for the Switch, it would be pretty hard for it to do. But these two are special cloud versions, which are being streamed to your Switch over the internet for cloud gaming versions of the game. This is not the first time this has happened on the Switch. A couple other games in Japan they've been doing this for a little while. You buy the game, you own it, apparently, but you don't own the bits. So, but you never really had access to the bits anyway. Now you just have to deal with bandwidth. What do you think? Is this the future of gaming? You're going to buy the game on the internet and play it even though it's on your portable device?
This is absolutely brilliant. I mean, the one real issue with the Nintendo Switch is that it doesn't compete with the other consoles on a graphics performance level, right?
One of the issues, yes.
It does a good job with certain types of graphics, and creative artists manage to do things like Breath of the Wild, which looks amazing without being as graphically demanding. But in general rule, the biggest games have really high-end graphics that would go beyond what the Switch can handle. So this allows you to get really any game and use the Switch to play it either in a portable way or on a big TV. So I think it's a brilliant idea. It's expands the capacity and capability of the Switch dramatically.
And like the article says that Nintendo in the past has been very against this. And I would say they kind of were forced to change their minds because the new consoles are coming out here shortly, PS5 and whatever the new Xbox is, the X. I don't know.
It's called the Series.
Okay.
Nintendo, not Nintendo, Microsoft's naming conventions are amazing.
Yeah. Zune 2, Electric Boogaloo. No, I mean, Nintendo's got to do something because cloud gaming and, physical games are a thing of the past for new consoles, especially the PS5 and the new Xbox. So yeah, if you want to stay relevant, and then also these are old games, right? These are games that were already out previously on the PS4
like a year
and the
old
Xbox
now.
One. So
they're about a year old now. So
Yeah.
yes.
So
if that makes them old.
no, I meant
Control
older
came
as
out
in not new release
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, Control came out in like mid 2019. It was like one of the best games of the year.
Okay.
So it's a big game, and it's a big accomplishment to get that game.
So let me ask: is in Control, are you fighting the forces of chaos?
I don't know.
Wabbit knows what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
That goes back to the shoe phone earlier.
Yeah,
Yep.
no, I get it. I just don't know. I don't know anything about the game. I know that there's some time stopping mechanics.
Oh,
and
okay.
things like that are pretty interesting. But
So I would imagine you need to request a dome of silence when you're
Yes.
playing the game.
All I've got to say is that I actually think that this is a step towards the future. I really, truly believe which will be in almost video gaming and almost everything, working on your desktop. You're going to have thin clients, whether they be like your phone, a gaming console, a computer, whatever. And when you connect to your service that you want to do whatever you want to do with, there will be an evaluation of what your device is capable of doing, how much storage it has, and what your connection currently is like. At which point it will go ahead and say, oh, well, will work best for you if it's loaded onto your device, and then it will be loaded on your device and you'll use it this way. Or no, this will be best if it's actually done at the server end and brought to you one way or another to you, where you're doing 30% of like the interface, but the video is being streamed or something. All that will be negotiated on the fly. You will just sit down at your device and go, and it will be able to report to the service, hey, here's what I'm capable of. Here's our benchmarks real fast. We're going to be able to make that. And it instantly will go, well, in this situation, we're going to do it this way because that's what's best for you. And then everything will be this hybrid streaming console, play local, play. I think that is the future. I think all the companies out there in the world will hate my vision of the future because that means that everything could play everything. And they won't like that. So my vision of the future, of course, being idealistic, will never happen.
I've recently, within the last month or so, made up my mind about how I feel about streaming games.
Yeah.
And I think what I've decided is, just like music, if you're streaming it and it's on a platform that could potentially go away, it doesn't make sense to own the content. If it's not physical media, one of those subscription services makes perfect sense, because, there's nothing worse than buying a movie that's in the cloud someplace and then that service goes away. You own it, but it's not there anymore.
You can't get it.
So yeah, if you want to buy a game, get physical media. If you want it in the cloud, then just do one of those all you can eat subscription bundle thingies. Especially, most of them will give you a free game every month, or something along those lines, so you can build up your library without actually having to purchase. But yeah,
a related story we didn't actually put on the list is that Stadia is working on getting the new AV1 codec on it, so that's going to reduce bandwidth as well. That's good for the future of streaming games becoming just like streaming movies, just being like streaming music. So the possibility of the future of we stream more of this stuff because we can, not necessarily because it's the best, becoming more ubiquitous, like we were talking about last week. Yeah, this is awesome. It's good stuff. Also, streaming stuff like streaming your sports stuff. If you were living in one of those in a country that has been hoping to get access to the new DAZN. I don't know how to pronounce it. This new network that they've been working on for the longest time. They are finally going to be bringing this service out to multiple countries. Probably as soon as December 1st. This will be available to the United States, Brazil, Canada, Japan, and many other European countries, where they are going to be focusing on things like baseball, sport, things like boxing, and many other sports. So this is our new sports network that's going to be coming worldwide for people.
Well, we talked about this in the past, this network. But yeah, they're widening their reach, which is always cool.
Right.
So
very cool.
Cool.
Okay. Oh, okay. We know what else is cool? Netflix. You know what is not cool?
What?
Them raising their prices. Hey, if you were paying $13 a month, congratulations! You're now paying $14 a month. That's their basic premium plan service, and always the real premium plan service, which was $16 a month, has been raised to $18 a month.
I was not happy about being stuck paying $15 previously. I think I'm at the point where I'm turning off Netflix. I'm not
the basic service that doesn't include HD?
I've got 4 profiles. So I had to go to I'm not paying $20 a month for Netflix.
I guess you just need to start charging your household rent for Netflix.
No, I'm just going to shut it off, because I literally don't watch Netflix unless there's a new series or a new season of something, and $20 is definitely not worth it. 15, I gritted my teeth, but no, absolutely not.
Yeah, I mean, at $20, you can almost buy. What does a season of a show cost now? Like
Yeah, but
20 to 30 bucks,
you
depending
can't
on
buy
the.
seasons of Netflix originals.
No, you can't
That's
get
what
the
I'm
Netflix.
saying. Is the only stuff on there is like when season 2 of The Witcher comes, I'll watch that.
Yeah, you
You
just
know,
pay for 1 month.
yeah, exact. But that's what I'm saying is
Yeah.
I'm about to pull that plug. Um, so
I think
Yeah,
I'd be doing the same thing, Clyde, if I wasn't a T-Mobile subscriber, right? But being a T-Mobile subscriber, I get most of that subsidized for me.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So,
see, for me, I would never have known my cost went up until we mentioned it on
Sorry, I didn't mean to burst your bubble.
the show. So, I guess, c'est la vie, right? Like, I'm gonna keep using Netflix. So,
No, we'll be continuing with our Netflix addiction, so that'll be fine. We just have to have all those options for us to stare at and go, I don't know, what do you want to watch? It's kind of what it is right now. That's okay.
I
Hey,
mean, it's where I'm watching whatever that designated survivor is. So, for me, it's just there's always something good on Netflix. Keeping it around, even at $20 a month, it's still a sweet deal for the amount of entertainment I get from it. Now, maybe it doesn't make as much sense while I'm paying for Hulu because I'm sure I could find something on Hulu to watch, but I'll cancel Hulu as soon as the football season's over. So,
right.
maybe cancel for a couple of months, but then I'm like, it's too much of a pain.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Mike's on to something, right? I mean, if you subscribe to Netflix and you subscribe to Hulu and you're a Prime subscriber, those are probably the top three, right?
Yeah.
And so if you do all three of them, right, and you have to cut something, which one of those three would you cut, right?
Well,
and I think different people would cut.
Oh yeah, no,
different
absolutely.
ones, right?
And I've talked about it before numerous times that the only reason I continue to play for Netflix is because of family that's on the account, and I have finally I this is the threshold. I've been looking for that threshold of what is too much, and this is too much. I will be canceling Netflix and telling other people that, hey, if you want to, you can buy it yourself.
Yeah. Netflix
Sorry, kids.
Netflix does have good documentaries, though.
Sorry, kids. No Netflix for you.
I haven't been able to find stuff on there forever when they changed that rating system. It's now just a black hole of whatever's on the top, and I can never find anything that I want. And it's still 5 years ago. I watched 5 minutes of something, and it's still telling me, hey, continue watching this. No, I didn't want to watch it 5 years ago. I don't want to watch it now. Goodbye, Netflix.
Okay. Hey, YouTube Music. YouTube Music is our us who were in love with our Google Music, are what we're dealing with and we're having to deal with. So it's okay. It's a lot better than when we first came out. That's for certain. But it has an interesting feature built into it that baffled lots of users. If you are a person who goes out and you like clicking like on your YouTube videos, you will be sometimes clicking on videos that are marked as music. For whatever reason. And those videos are showing up in your YouTube stream, and specifically ones that are auto-generated for you. Like there's actually one, My Liked Music. And those videos, they're showing up in your YouTube Music as part of your option of what you liked. That may not be what you want. You may be thinking, well, YouTube is I watch stuff on the internet thing, and YouTube Music is how I listen to stuff, and I don't want those things to be mixing together. Please don't put my YouTube likes into my YouTube Music. Don't put my chocolate, your chocolate in my peanut butter, even though that can be good. They've now have a feature in here where you can go into the settings and you can disable all your likes that you put on the YouTube, the standard video apps, so they will not be put into your feeds of your YouTube music, and it will no longer
You're
be
basically just
pois-
filtering them out.
You're no longer poisoning your music feed with your video likes. So, and my understanding is that means that millions of less songs of Baby Shark per month will be played on YouTube Music.
Yeah. I for a minute, I was like, what in the world would be the point of this? It seems totally ridiculous. If I like the music video, I'm certainly going to like listening to it. I mean, however,
So your kid gets like
when
on a
you
whole bunch of
mention
crap
that-
stuff.
yeah, it's that the Gummy Bear song.
Oh God, that
and
song's horrible.
The
Gummy bears bouncing
No,
here and there.
no,
and
that's not it.
everywhere. That one?
That's not the song. That one's fine.
Oh,
I will not harm your psyche with the horrible
Yeah.
one.
okay.
So yeah, I have since managed to get my kids on their own profiles, so that doesn't happen. However, back when my kid was too young to switch it herself, it was always doing that in my account, and so I totally get it now. You are spot on. This is brilliant.
So I gotta ask, if they can manage to do this quickly, why the hell, after 10 years, is YouTube still recommending I watch videos that already show as watched?
Oh, it's in the watch it again thing.
No,
Or if
no,
you
no,
did-
no. It's not watch it again. It's the, hey, watch this next.
Oh, well,
And I constantly have to right click and say, not
Not
interested.
gotcha.
Why?
No,
'Cause I
there's
already
the
watched it.
a
They
good
know
question.
they know it's a problem enough that they put the box in there that says I already watched it as a reason. But yet they won't fix it.
Interesting. That is a good question. Obviously, their AI has gotten so smart that it's thinking for itself, and it's going, Clyde, you just watched this video. You want to watch this one again, right? And it's like, no, I don't want to watch
You
it
watched
again.
this video like 2 years ago.
You want to watch it
should
again,
watch it.
right? Come on, it's the
No,
AI.
it's got the red line at the bottom that shows that it was completely watched. Leave me alone.
I don't know. The AI wants you to watch the video, Clyde. Watch the video,
Leave
damn
me
it.
alone.
So, sorry, Clyde, I can't do that.
All right. So what? Wasn't someone or Mike? Weren't you trying to go to BlizzCon this year?
No.
Oh. Okay, never mind.
The good news is you don't have to, because BlizzCon has been canceled. We now have BlizzCon Line, which is the thing. It's their online BlizzCon. And they normally charge a pretty penny for it, anywhere from $50 to $100 for you to go to the virtual ticket for those things. This year, nope, BlizzCon's online videos will be completely free to watch. This is a big deal for me because they almost always have giant panels about the games and the various updates to various things. They also usually have big announcements, and this online version of the con should be much less interesting because the crowds always make it fun, I gotta say. But the fact that they're making it free is a good thing, because who wants to pay $50 for something they'll just watch 20 minutes later on YouTube?
Yeah. So who's going to go to LA to report on BlizzCon?
Nobody.
Nobody. Well, I mean, I'm sure there's going to be somebody in Vegas reporting on CES that's not there. I figured there's got to be someone else that's going to go to LA to report on the BlizzCon that's online.
That wouldn't sound so bad, except the whole LA part.
Yeah.
That being in California.
Yeah,
and
it's true. That's true.
fires and things and such.
Whatever.
But no, yeah, if you were hoping to go to BlizzCon,
Now you can.
And you didn't want to pay $50 for the online thing, you don't have to. So,
Yep,
word.
absolutely. And that's the stories of the week, guys.
Awesome. Well, that brings us to the point in the show where we like to say thank you to the people that mean the most to us. The people that we think about every night before we go to sleep, that we include in our prayers. The people that decided to use their hard-earned cash to support this show.
We don't understand
via
why, but we appreciate
patreon.com. we may not understand why.
We don't understand
why. We won't discourage it, and we definitely won't ask you to explain it.
That's true.
But we just want to say thank you. You guys are awesome. Maybe they're only doing it so that they don't have to join us live and they can get our custom RSS feed.
That's a good reason too, because us live for some reason is 20% more intolerable. I don't know why.
A couple weeks ago, I asked if anybody was actually listening after the fact, and I got a couple responses saying, "Yeah, the show's too late. They can't catch it live, so they rely on that." So, yeah, if you're not currently a patron and you would like to contribute, or you just want a custom RSS feed that and get the show earlier than it gets pushed to YouTube or to the public stream, patreon.com/thebod squad. And if you are currently a patron, you are awesome. We thank you. All right. Well, I pushed this bumper earlier, so we'll see if it works. Apparently it worked. So,
yay!
Rants, raves. What do you guys got?
I got just a quick one. This weekend, last weekend was the Halloween weekend, and we stayed up and we watched a whole bunch of your standard just kids Halloween movies from The Addams Family, of course, one of my favorites. Gotta love that one. But the other movie we watched the day before was something I didn't know anything about, quite frankly. And as a history nerd, I usually like to be in the know of these things. And it's a movie adaptation, so I don't know how truthful it is, but it was very entertaining nonetheless. Which was the movie called The Trial of the Chicago 7. It has to do with a riot of that happened, and the things that happened up to that, and they did a good job of injecting the correct amount of humor in it and keeping it relevant. They didn't go too deep off the deep end of things, but they were. I mean, if you like court drama, it's good. If you like a little bit of humor, it's good. If it's it's full of a whole bunch of it's got a whole bunch of big names in it. This is a movie obviously was not going to just go straight to Netflix. This was going to go to theaters. So it was I enjoyed it, and so.
That's on Netflix, right?
It's on Netflix. Yeah. It's a straight to Netflix movie because it didn't go anywhere else. So,
see,
not bad.
It's funny, and I've always questioned if any of you ever go to Old Chicago.
I've driven through Chicago.
No, the restaurant Old Chicago.
Never even heard of it.
Place. Nope. They're around the country. They have a pizza and a stromboli and a calzone that is the Chicago 7. And I've always found that hilarious because I don't think it's meant to. It's got seven different things in it, right? And it's like it's one of those things where do they know what they were doing?
They probably do, but it's a pizza. They just glaze right over. It's a pizza, guys. It's a pizza. It's the Chicago 7.
But I mean, most people don't get it. Most people don't understand that the Chicago 7 were involved in one of the worst riots in American history. And yeah, so I've always been curious about
apparently there's an Old Chicago pizza near us, near me.
Oh, You should go there.
No, I don't think that's. I don't think that. No, that's not it. That's not the place.
Okay, but
Oh,
we'll work on that later. But
it's not there.
yeah. Okay, Jimmy.
Yeah. So, you know, in the age of COVID-19 and all, you know, they're not releasing a whole lot of new movies and that kind of thing. And so I was going back and looking at some of the, you know, what's some of the old movies I haven't watched in a while. And also too, I think within the last week or so, Sean Connery passed away. You know, he was
Oh yeah.
90 years old. And so I said, all right, well, let me go back and see like some of my old Sean Connery movies that I like. You know, of course, you know, there's the classic, you know, James Bond and that kind of thing. But then I came across the movie The Rock, right? This was one that took place in San Francisco, right? And it was probably one of the last good action movies that Sean Connery was in. I think he did this one, The Rock. I think there was another one that called Entrapment, I believe, that he did with Catherine Zeta-Jones.
It was okay.
That one was pretty good as well. I think maybe that one was like a year or two after The Rock. But The Rock was like the first time that he had done like an action type movie where he's actually doing some of the action since, you know, maybe the
Last Crusade.
Yeah, or something like that, right? But anyway, it was. I think Sean Connery was about 60 years old when he made The Rock. Right. And
Well, if he died is 90, right?
Yeah.
And that movie was 93, 94.
I thought it was 91 is when it was.
Maybe.
But
no, yeah, it's later than that, but yeah.
Yeah. I think it was right about 91. It was probably made in about 90, right?
96.
It was 96.
Oh,
I
was
was
it
in high
96?
school.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I thought it was later than that.
Yeah, I was in
Okay,
state.
all right.
But still, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm off on the years, but anyway, he was. I guess maybe at that point he was already in his 60s, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you know, he was quite old, but still did a good job in the movie. Made it, even though he was older, made it believable that hey, he's this guy that he's old, but he could still do a few things, right? And that's kind of what The Rock is, right? So yeah, I watched that. You know, I saw it. I think way back when it first came out. You know, back in '96, I saw it, and just wanted to spin that one back up and watch it again. And it was quite enjoyable. Nicolas Cage also stars in that movie. There's a lot of other. Ed Harris, I think, is in it. There's some other actors that you'll recognize in the movie, right? Quite a good movie.
Yeah, when you started to say it was one of the better movies, I thought you were going to say it was one of the better Nicolas Cage movies. But because Nicolas Cage has a significant hit or miss. More misses than hits, and this was definitely one of the hits.
Yeah, he did a good job there too.
Yeah,
right. And Nicolas Cage, I've enjoyed most of his movies, but yeah, you're right. There are those occasional misses.
Well, that's why he's the patron saint of Movie Party. We celebrate his birthday every January.
Does he like every one of the movies I've ever seen with him was actually enjoyable?
Mm-hmm.
So does he really have like full on bad movies?
Oh yes.
Okay. When we're done with this, watch the movie Mandy.
Okay.
Mandy. Mark it down. Don't watch it with your kids. Maybe watch it with your wife, but so that you're going to want to watch it with somebody so that you have someone that you can discuss it afterwards.
From 1983?
No, it's like a couple years ago. Mandy. It's like 2 years ago. Yeah.
2018. Okay. Nicolas Cage horror thriller.
Yes. And it's not so much a bad movie. It's more of a what did I watch kind of movie. But yes.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I've heard many times that Nicolas Cage has been in so many movies because he likes to spend money, so he's got to keep making new movies. And any movie that comes his way, he does.
Yeah, he
And
had
so-
financial trouble,
Well,
But I've never actually watched one that wasn't good. National Treasure. I liked all of those.
Oh,
They were really good.
absolutely.
The Rock was awesome. Ghost Rider was good. Even the car one that wasn't particularly great.
What
Gone in
about
60
Knowing?
seconds.
Still pretty enjoyable.
what about Knowing? The one where he like knows what's gonna happen. Was that the weather one? Where you can see like short term into the future.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah,
also Next, which was
Next.
Yeah,
similar.
Next was the one you could see in the future.
Next was the one.
Yeah,
that
I'm
he-
Knowing
trying
was one of the I can't remember. Like, and he knew that something bad was going to happen, but that's all he knew.
Yeah.
It's all mixed
Oh,
together.
he links a mysterious list of numbers from a time capsule to past and future disasters.
Oh, that's right. And he was able to say, "Well, there's a disaster that's going to happen at this time, at this day," and
yeah,
stuff
but he
because
didn't
had
know
the
what it
list.
was. Okay,
Exactly.
no, but
And going back to Sean Connery just for a second, if you never saw Goldfinger, the James Bond movie Goldfinger, you definitely got to watch that one. Right? I mean, just classic James Bond, right? I mean, so if you haven't watched that one, go back and watch that. I mean, now with COVID and new movies are not really getting released, right? Some of those classics are nice to watch.
all right.
He's my personal favorite Bond of all time.
Oh, he was the best Bond.
He was definitely, to me, I agree. Yeah.
So
There's been some other great ones, but he's the best.
at least it was not Timothy Dalton. All right,
Yeah.
Mike. What's your? You got a rant, rave?
Sorry. Yeah, so we finished season 1 of Designated Survivor, and I very much enjoyed it. We haven't started season 2 because my folks are coming in tomorrow, and so I didn't want to start the season and only get like 3 episodes in and have to take like half a week off. But yeah, it's been really good. The other thing that I've been watching on my own is Hellstrom. I am almost through the first season, and I absolutely love it. When you described it a couple weeks ago, I think it was Clyde, right?
Mm-hmm.
It sounded like it was right up my alley. I said that on the show. I've watched it mostly, and I totally agree. It's great. I love it.
Good. I'm glad. Glad that worked for you.
Yeah,
I
thanks.
need to finish that. I got like 4 or 5 episodes into it, and I just haven't watched anymore. But yeah, I did watch that. Did anybody watch the Queen's Gambit thing on Netflix?
No, I don't think I
Not-
did.
I
Not
hadn't thought anything about it when I saw the like poster, because I turned off the autoplay for the trailers.
This is the okay.
It's the chess one.
This is the chess one.
But
Yeah.
I went down a separate rabbit hole a couple weeks ago, or about a week ago, with the movie The Hustler, because I did never realize that The Color of Money with Tom Cruise was a sequel to The Hustler from 1961. And that blew my mind. And then I was looking into that, and then I saw, wait, Tevis wrote another book called Queen's Gambit. And I went, wait, that sounds familiar. And then I remembered, oh, wait, I saw this thing on Netflix. And sure enough, it's the same guy that did The Hustler and Color of Money. So I checked it out. And I got to say, I think they treated it well. They
Cool.
did. And I went into it expecting, okay, you've got a lady that's the main character, so they're going to write her the way that they keep doing on these streaming things with lots of graphic nudity and sex scenes, and she's gonna be like all kinds of whatever, and they didn't do any of that. It was tasteful and believable, as much as that story could be, and I think I would recommend it.
Yeah.
But that wasn't originally what I was going to talk about. I actually have a rant in the
But
fact
free
that
rave!
for those of you that weren't here before we started streaming, you may not have noticed I am wearing shorts. You can see my knees. While I am happy that I am wearing shorts, I am ranting because 3 days ago it was snowing. Yesterday and today it was in the 70s. I hate Minnesota. Everybody wants to know, why do I hate Minnesota so much? This is part of it. My body does not react well to the extreme swings in temperature. So even though it's been really nice, I can't go outside because I feel like crap.
Yeah.
But yeah, so screw you, Minnesota, for
Well,
many reasons. One of which, you're like erratic weather.
We've had the exact same thing here in Texas. Just probably 10 to 20 degrees warmer than what you're getting. But yeah, it was like almost 30. It was 30 something on Halloween. And then now it's in the 80s. So I'm back to shorts, and I'm getting a migraine as well, because that's how these weather swings impact me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
yeah, I don't believe anybody should have to wear pants for any other reason than church and a funeral.
Mhm.
So I begrudgingly put on pants so that my legs don't get frostbitten and chopped off. Because I kind of need them. But I hate every minute of it for 9 months. But all right. On that note, we should probably wrap this up and just get to the post show where we can actually talk about the stuff, and the audio listeners aren't bored by my side trips.
You do know that the audio listeners enjoy your rants and your raves, just so you know.
Yes. But we got to keep something special for the people that tune in.
It's fair. Sorry.
Live.
Gonna have to. Too bad.
But yes, if you are listening to this or watching this after the fact, join us live sometime. Don't have to be here every week, but, stick your head in. Say hi in the chat. You get to participate. You get to submit titles. The title that you see on this was submitted by somebody during this stream, and we are going to vote on those over in the post show. So head on over to tvs.showbot.tv. Pick your favorite title. We'll vote on that in a little bit. Yeah, that's it. So everybody, thank you for hanging out with me tonight. All you that were watching, we appreciate you being here, and we will catch you again next week, 9 p.m. Central, here on Twitch. Bye.
Bye.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.